What's going on, guys? Tool Cruise here, and today we're checking out this new gravel bike from Sava. So this is their Hulk model. It is a carbon gravel bike, $1,700, complete bike, Shimano GRX, and really good value bike overall. So we're going to be doing a first look on this bike today, checking out everything, and I'm going to be taking it for a nice test ride later today as well. So first, you might be wondering, what is Sava? It might be a brand you haven't heard of before. Sava is actually a Chinese bike manufacturing company. They've been building bikes for years, doing OEM stuff for other brands. So they have a lot of experience building frames, and now they're working on promoting their own brand, which is the Sava brand. I've actually seen them quite a bit because I used to live over in Asia. So when I was in Vietnam, I saw a lot of people riding Sava bikes just because they're a lot more budget friendly compared to some of the other brands out there. And now they're starting to expand their direct consumer, and they're shipping worldwide now. So they actually just opened up a warehouse over in the US. So they got a lot of stock of bikes over here now. And there's no import duties for most countries when you order your bike. And the shipping times are gonna be really quick, especially if you're over here in the US, nearby one of the warehouses. So when we got this bike ordered, it took less than a week for it to arrive. And full disclosure, this bike was sent over to us from Sava for us to check out. We do a lot of bike reviews on this channel, and Sava reached out to us asking if we wanted to check out one of their bikes. And the one that really caught my eye was the gravel bike, because I just moved here to the US, and the area where I'm living has so much gravel road riding, like hundreds and hundreds of miles of gravel road riding around here. So I decided to test out their gravel bike. All right, so let's go ahead and start our first look at the bike. This bike actually comes in two different colors. One is the black edition, which is the one that we got. It also has some really cool brushed silver decals here for the logo, and I'm really liking that. They also come with a white edition, and overall, I generally like the look of white bikes more, but just the overall, like having to clean them and stuff is a lot more difficult. So I decided to go with the black edition. It's got the name of the model here. So this is the Hulk Carbon, and this is using that brushed silver as well, which looks really cool. We got their logo here. And one of the first things I noticed on this bike is it does have quite a few different mounting options. So we got some bolts there. We got two water bottle, two more here. We've got some other bolts here for our rear racks. And there's also another one here for a fender set. So lots of different mounting options. None on the bottom of the down tube though, and also none on the fork. We got another one of the logos here on the side of the fork too. And yeah, the brushed silver is looking really nice and clean on the matte black frame finish. The other thing that really stands out to me with this bike is just how sharp a lot of the edges seem to be. This gives me kind of like a 90s spacecraft kind of vibe. You can see those sharp edges here on the back of the rear triangle. And overall, it's just got more of like a boxy, kind of like polygon, sharp angles kind of look. And yeah, I'm liking it. It's got its own kind of like unique vibe. So also, in addition to the two different color options, there's different build options with this bike as well. So right now on their website, they got two different build options. One is a 1x option and one is the 2x option. So the 2x is the Hulk 4.0, which is the edition that I got. And I chose to get this one because I am not a fan of the 1x craze that seems to have taken over everything. Literally every mountain bike, every gravel bike on the market right now comes stock with 1x, and I found that I really do not get the gear range that I want. I really like to be able to have my climbing gear, but also have some big, massive downhill / sprint gears. So I'm really liking that this gravel bike actually comes stock with a 2x. In 2024, there's really not many gravel bikes that come stock with 2x, and personally, I just really prefer the 2x. It's great for being able to ride both gravel and road and just have all the gears that you need and not feel limited when you're riding. So a nice double GRX crank up in the front. It looks like this one comes stocked with a 4630. We've also got the matching Shimano GRX front derailleur. And for the cassette, we've got an 1134 cassette. So our biggest climbing gear is going to be a 3034, which is more than enough. We don't have really many mountains here in Michigan, but I am really going to like having that 4611 on some of the downhills, or if I choose to ride more road options with this bike. Rear derailleur, also Shimano GRX. The only sort of disadvantage with the stock group set that they put on this bike is it is actually 10 speed, so it's a slightly older group set. But personally, I really don't mind. I'd much rather have 2x10 speed than a 1x11, but that's my personal preference. They have the bikes in both editions, so you can get a 1x option with the more gears in the back, or you can get the 2x with the 10 speed in the back. For the wheels, it looks like we've just got some standard generic black rims, so not really sure which brand those are. Although they do come with some Shimano hubs, so that's nice to see. And with the tires, we've got some Continental Terra Trails. So I haven't used these tires before, but I use my Continental tires on my road bike, so pretty happy with that tire choice. And it looks like we have more than enough grip on these tires as well. The brakes on this bike are also Shimano GRX, and one thing that I thought was a little interesting is both of the rotor sizes are actually 140. I know on some bikes it's getting more common to have 140 on the rear and 160 on the front, but both of the rotors on this bike seem to be 140, which I think is fine as long as you're not doing anything too hardcore. Another thing I like about this bike is it comes with a threaded bottom bracket, so really simple and easy maintenance with that. This is the stock saddle that the bike comes with. It also has a custom seat post here. It's got this rubber flap here, and this is how the clamping system works. So once you tighten that down, you just put this rubber piece back down. I've also got a sticker here showing my size, so in case you're wondering, I'm about 6 feet tall, 183 centimeters. I chose to go with the size large. And next, let's take a look at the handlebar setup. So we got a nice little flare here on the handlebars. The shifters here, also Shimano GRX. And for the cable routing, actually, it came really clean out of the box. I was really surprised. A lot of bike companies, the mountain bike I just ordered recently, came with extra long cables, and I really didn't like that. So it's nice to see that this bike came with everything nice and short here. A lot of bikes nowadays also are doing a lot of cables routing into the headset, and I personally really don't like that. You might lose a fractional aerodynamic advantage, but having these adjusters here is really nice if you need to make adjustments on your bike on the go, and it's nice to have that option. So yeah, overall, the cable routing here looks really clean. I'm liking, their logo is actually pretty cool. It's looking really clean on this frame with all the cables routed here. It looks really nice. So we got the front fork routed here, and then the rest of the cables go on the side, on the inside of the frame, 2 on this side, and then the other one on this side. So everything's routed internally. All right, so that's the full bike, everything outside the box. Let's test it out and see how much it weighs. All right, so the scale's reading about a little over 10 kilograms, 22 pounds, so not too bad for a $1,700 bike. All right, and lastly, since this is a direct-to-consumer brand, I'll show you guys how the package arrived and how everything that came in the box. So let's go back to when we built the bike. So here we are, guys. It's new bike day today. Brand new bike from Sava Bikes. This is a carbon gravel bike, so we're gonna be building this bad boy up. And since Sava is a direct-to-consumer brand, they're gonna ship the bike box just like this to your house. So we're gonna start the video showing you guys how the bike arrived, what kind of condition it is. Should be a pretty simple build. It came in this nice little small box. I live in the US and the shipping was really quick. It took less than a week for it to arrive. And it might be a few extra days depending on where you're getting it shipped to, if you're getting it shipped from their China warehouse or from the US warehouse. But anyway, this is the box. Let's get it open and see what we got. Don't do that. All right, be careful when you pull the bike out of the box so the saddle doesn't fall out. But so here's the whole bike. If you've ever built a bike from a box before, it's pretty simple. You just take off all the styrofoam and zip ties, attach the handlebars and front wheel, and maybe a few minor adjustments, but should be pretty simple. So as I'm unpacking the bike here, everything's looking good so far. It looks like they had plastic and protection covering most of the bike, so didn't see any areas that could have gotten damaged, and it's really good with these carbon bikes especially that they pack this securely in a way that it won't get damaged. So it also came with this box of goodies. So we got some flat pedals. These are some solid metal ones. Looks like these are the pieces for the seat post. We got a product certification. So it looks like they have each bike inspected before they go out. And we got our usual reflector bits. It also comes with all the tools you need for assembly. So Allen keys and the pedal wrench. All right, and here we are back outside with the bike fully built and just about ready to go. For the most part, the bike build went really smoothly, but there was one problem that I ran into on the very last step when I went to put on the front wheel. I noticed that the connector piece between the front fork and the front brake was actually bent. So I think the box got slightly damaged during shipping, which caused that connector piece to break. Luckily, that's only like a $10 piece, and I contacted the company and they sent a replacement piece within about a week. So yeah, for the most part, it was pretty good, but I did have that one small little hiccup, but that's more of a shipping problem than with the problem with the actual company. Anyway, now that this bike is pretty much ready to go, I'm gonna get my pedals attached, my water bottle cage is attached, get kitted up, and head outside on my test ride and test this bike out. This video is already getting a little bit long, so we're just gonna keep this as a first look video, and make sure you're subscribed. Stay tuned for the upcoming test ride video, which will be coming up here soon in just a few days, hopefully. Thanks again to Sava for sending this bike over for us to test out and review. I'm really excited to check it out. It's a really clean looking bike, and I have some high expectations. So really good deal, $1,700 carbon gravel bike with a double chainring up front, GRX. Sounds like a pretty good deal to me, and we'll see how it performs on the ride test. Thanks as always for watching, guys, and we'll see you in the next video.